All right, welcome back to another 10-Minute Tuesday. This 10-Minute Tuesday is brought to you by Weatherby. If you have not checked out the new Sorix, please go check it out. It's an incredible gun, made in Italy, hand-painted in the USA. You're going to love them. They have a ton of cool features. One of the things I like best about the gun is when you're loading shells, they've got kind of this, I don't even know what you would call that, Carter, like an anti-finger catching.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's like the way that it accepts your shells makes it so that you can never get your fingers stuck, which is really, really shitty when you're in the middle of like a -10 blind and your fingers caught in your gun. So check out the new Sorix. Go to weatherby.com.
Before you continue, you know what else I should check out?
What's that?
New Midwest Flyways merch just dropped.
Oh,
the October
nice
collection.
job, Carter. /shop?
/shop.
MidwestFlyways.com/shop. We're bringing back Connor's very famous thing. So go /shop. Go check out our new merch. Thanks, Carter. Good plug. All right, so no Joey tonight, guys. I just want to do a quick 10-minute Tuesday kind of thoughts about preparing going into waterfowl season and how you can make your waterfowl season as good as it can possibly be. One of the things I hear a lot from guys at the end of the year is just kind of them, I think, looking back on their duck season and wishing maybe they would have done things a little bit differently. And I think the reality of this is just you're not going to be able to get the birds to do what you want all the time. And one of the most common misconceptions, too, that we get, Carter, all the time is people being like, how is it possible that every time you guys go out, it's a banger? Well, it's not. You know, it's not. A lot of the time when we go out, it's the opposite of a banger. We push and grind hard to try to find birds, and sometimes you just can't. And it's hard because, especially if you're traveling, it's hard to get your dates right all the time, you know? And one of the best things you can do is pick a date window and find a couple of places you can get to for that date window, and then kind of just decide as you're going which place you think you'd rather go. And so instead of just trying to pick a spot, end up going there, you can do that. And if there's a place that you're trying to go that's historically good for waterfowl that time of year, that's something that you can bank on, then do it. But don't show up and have the expectation that you're going to shoot a limit, because the reality is, just like when we go out all the time, you're going to just have hunts that aren't going to go well. And sometimes you're going to think you're going to have a banger, and then you're going to go in and find out that day that you're not going to have a banger. It's not going to be a great hunt. So I would say one of the things to really consider as you go into this duck season is just your mentality showing up for every hunt. I think I've been disappointed a lot when I go into a hunt and I think that it's going to be a great hunt, and you kind of get your hopes up because you've seen so many birds, because people have told you it's going to be perfect. And then you get there and find out that the birds are going to do absolutely nothing of what they did yesterday. They're not going to cooperate. You're going to have a terrible day. And that really can kill the vibe, especially when you're 8 hours from home, you've traveled, you prepared, you brought all this gear, you show up, and then you're going to have 2 or 3 bad days of hunting that can really just make you question what you're actually doing. And so I would say one of the things that I've learned the most doing this, traveling all over, is when you go into it with the right mentality, we're going to have fun. We're going to see something new. We're going to experience birds that act completely differently than where we're from. We're going to hunt a different environment. When you go in with that mentality and then you shoot half a limit, or, you know, you get on a few birds, you end up having way more fun. Just like anything else. If you go into it and you think it's going to suck, it's going to suck. If you go into it and you think it's going to be great and it doesn't work out, you're going to be really bummed. Joey and I have gone down to, we've traveled far, far distances to go places and find out that there are no birds there and you're stuck there for 3 days. And I think in the beginning, at least for me, that was a little bit demoralizing when you're traveling 14 or 16 hours and you show up and then the hunting's really bad. That can really just break your spirit a little bit. So I think that's one thing to really consider. Go into it with the right mindset. Go into every hunt with the right mindset. Think about each hunt as an opportunity to just have fun, experience something, see some birds, learn. You know, and that's my second kind of point, I think, for this year is, you know, every time you go out, you have a chance to learn something new. Even if the birds don't cooperate, even if the hide's not what you wanted it to be, every situation allows you an opportunity to take something away from it. And even when the birds don't cooperate, you can learn from that, you know, you can learn from that struggle. you could take something away from that struggle. And a lot of the time, that's when you learn the most, I would say, is when you do think you know what you're doing, and then you very quickly find out you have no idea what you're doing. And I think if you can go through duck season looking for opportunities to study birds, study your environment, understand the hunt you're on, understand how you can be a better hunter in those situations when the birds aren't right, when the weather's not right, that's going to make it easier and easier for you as you go along in your waterfowling career to find opportunities to be successful. And a lot of the time it's doing something completely different from what you expect you should be doing. So you would have maybe a preconceived notion in your brain based on the weather, based on the birds, that this is where you should go. And when you go and it doesn't work, instead of trying to find something different and leaving the hunt early and going and scouting or trying to figure out where these birds are, you'll just throw in the towel and say, well, it sucks. They're not worth hunting right now. But one of the things Joey and I have talked a bunch about on the last few podcasts is kind of getting out, finding new areas to scout, trying to find different birds. Look on Onyx maps and find lakes you've never seen before. Find ponds you've never hunted. Use recent imagery to get pictures of areas that could have flooded fields, that could have water, that might not all the time. And going on there and getting that imagery and then going and checking those places out. I think the further you can expand your understanding of your area and where birds might be going when it seems like they're not around, that's going to give you more opportunity too on those days when things are a little bit weird. So I think just in general, you guys going into duck season, try to have fun. It's supposed to be fun. People get frustrated all the time. You talk to people halfway through the season and they're pissed off. There's no more birds anymore. It ain't worth hunting them. Why are we even out here? I don't get it. I'm giving up. I'm selling all my shit. I see posts on Facebook Marketplace, posts on Facebook groups all the time. Guys just literally liquidating everything they own because they've had a bad waterfowl season. And, a lot of the time when I talk to those guys, they've hunted like 2 spots all year. Well, yeah, man, that might not be a great way to go about it. They're obviously not there. So instead of looking for the reasons that waterfowling isn't going well, it's not going your way because that part of the year is going to happen. It's called October. Just try to really take a deep breath, look for something new, find that weird backwater hunt. You might only shoot 3 birds, but it's totally new. You're going to learn something. You're going to see something you didn't know about before. I think that's the biggest key to having a good year, having a fun year, is just being able to go into it with the right idea of what it's really about. And I think you'll have a lot more fun that way, and you'll probably want to keep waterfowl hunting. So I'm wishing all of you guys a very successful season. I hope you guys are safe. I hope you have fun. Bring your friends, bring somebody new that's never been hunting. Get more people into the sport. We need more people buying duck stamps, more people supporting groups like Ducks Unlimited, so we can keep this tradition alive for years to come. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to duck season. I hope you have a great one.